Ho, ho, ho.
Who you? Oh.
For real? For real?
Merry Christmas
Merry
Eve.
Christmas Eve. We are here for the show
Yes.
today, and it is the
Merry
day before
Christmas
Christmas, and it's hot.
Eve. It is 80 degrees. Texas is tripping.
It's,
It
yeah.
needs to get its life together.
Yeah.
It should not be 80 degrees. We should be snuggled up in drinking hot cocoa and coffee and sitting in front of a fireplace.
Yeah.
And
No, that doesn't, no. It's hot. It's real hot here.
we should be reenacting Let It Snow, Boys to Men, Cabin style.
All right.
I felt like that's what life should have been like.
We'll try that
growing up.
We'll try that when we go to the mountains in
To
a
the
couple
mountains.
months.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
As always, please
Yes.
like, subscribe, follow. Please email us chickenandwaffleshow@gmail.com. And please consider us following us on Patreon. That would be amazing to
Yes.
have your support over there. But we are in for a fun one today.
Are we?
Yes, we are, with
Excited.
Christmas upon us. And we had some interesting things happen to us over the last week concerning children.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
Like real stuff that
Yeah.
I don't think we've had to, well, because Jalen, our oldest, is who he is. We've never really had to deal with,
yeah. So
Issues,
we
so to speak.
gonna talk about the children today,
the children's.
and some of the things that we do on a regular basis and have dealt with. And,
Yeah.
we pride ourselves on our kids being super respectful whenever we're not around. I mean, they
Right.
are when we are around also.
Absolutely.
But definitely when we're not around, when they're with other people, somebody else's house, stuff like that. It's always a yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. And that's just been something we've done with them since they could talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's something we grew up with.
Yeah.
I mean, both military families, culturally, we just, that wasn't something it's very weird to not hear someone say sir or ma'am.
Yep.
Or calling him, which is, I mean, obviously with the times are different, but saying somebody's first name with not the Mr. or the Miss in front of it. I'm
Yeah.
like, who are you talking to?
Man, I tell you, man,
Who you
have a
talking
kid.
to? Talking about Abby. Abby
For
who?
real, a couple kids be like, hey, Mark, we're like,
Mark who?
man, you better. But then it's funny.
Yeah.
But then if they say Mr. Duncan, I'm like, sorry, that's my dad, not me. Like, I'm good with Mr. Mark. Like,
Yeah.
as long as put a little respect on it.
Put a little spec.
Like, if you not a man yet, and just because you're 18 don't make you a man.
Yeah.
But if you're not a man yet, then
Right.
I still
And,
expect Mr.
Honestly, I think that's why culturally, like we talked about, and it was very different for you coming into my family. You were like, why is everybody an auntie and an uncle, an ate, a kuya,
Bruh, that was a whole new
that was very
world
different
that got
for
opened
you.
up for
And
me.
it was like, part of it is just more a form of respect.
Right.
No, it's not like, obviously for us, it's, if that title is within our home, it is very much you are very close to our family.
Yeah.
You are like family.
Yeah.
We don't know you any different. You are auntie, you are
Right.
uncle, kuya, whatever you are.
Right.
But it wasn't like that your auntie, mommy, cousin, everybody
Yeah,
cousin.
yeah.
But it was very different for you. Like, why are they calling me uncle? Like,
Yeah.
why are they calling me,
Yeah.
why is everybody, they don't know us like that. I'm like, okay, wait.
And
Go back.
the thing for me, because growing up, like
Yeah.
my aunts and uncles lived on the
Far,
other
yeah.
side of the states.
Yeah.
Right. So I maybe saw, like, till this day, I've seen my aunts and uncles on both sides of my family maybe 4 times, like total. Yeah. Like,
throughout your life.
yes.
Okay.
That have not seen them in person that often at all.
Well, all mine are in the Philippines, so it's not like I see them often either.
So
Unless somebody dies.
yeah, so when it came to that, and it was like auntie, uncle this, I was
Yeah.
like,
Tito,
why?
tita. Yeah.
It was just, yeah,
It's
It was
different.
different. It was definitely different.
But I think it shows the pride that we have, culturally, and the things that we bring up our kids in doing, because that's, when you do that, that's our safe space.
Yeah.
That shows that they really do trust them. Our kids are very loving. And so if it's not like we force them to call anybody that, but they end up doing it on their own. And it's like, okay, this person means something, but something to them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny too, because if our kids are out in public with some of these folks,
Yeah.
and they say aunt this or uncle
Yeah.
this, like, it's it's like a
Yeah.
total shocker to people who are around because it's like y'all are nowhere close to the same
Right.
color,
But they
or
white.
skin color. Yeah,
You-
yeah. So it could be
Yeah.
Aunt Dana, it could be
Yeah.
Uncle B, it
Uncle
could
B.
be Uncle Nate, it could be Aunt Stacy, it
Yeah.
could be like
Anybody.
yeah,
It's
and
the color of the wheels in our home.
man, we
And our
run the full
kids
gamut
don't
of the
know
rainbow.
any different.
Yeah,
Kids
they
don't know
don't.
any
They
different.
don't because what matters is people who love our children.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we want people to love our children, so we put a lot of emphasis on how we raise our children, and just how they treat adults,
Yeah.
how they treat each other. We're very big on honor in this house.
Very much so. Very much.
Very
we have
big
a
on honor.
Very big saying in our home that we teach our kids.
Yep. So we honor up, we honor down,
and
we honor all the way around. And that's just
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who it is, from I don't know why people think like the janitor is the lowly position,
Yeah.
but like anywhere,
matter who.
yeah, it doesn't matter who.
Yeah.
We show honor and respect to whoever we can, wherever we
Right.
are. So that's been a big thing in our home and how we raise our kids, and just teaching them to respect each other.
Right.
We're probably more on the strict side of parents that we
Yeah,
know.
We really are. We really are. I think, well, I don't like a lot of noise. Is that a sensory thing?
I don't know.
I don't like a lot of noise. I don't like mess.
Yeah.
I feel like my house is always messy.
And we don't keep a messy house.
don't
This
keep-
is in
I do-
Abby's.
and I think for
Purview.
me, if it's messy, I feel chaotic.
Yeah.
If I feel chaotic, my brain feels chaotic.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a rippling effect for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I grew up. And
Yeah.
it was always cleaning on his. I don't know who didn't clean on a Saturday growing up. Did you ever, did you
Saturday
do
was
that?
cleaning day around our
Saturday
house.
was cleaning day, but it was, I get very flustered.
Yeah.
When it's not, or because we never know who's going to come by.
Yeah.
And not to say it's like, we have to have a model home and everything has to be put in its place, but you took it out, put it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. It's one of those things like we try to identify small things now that are
yes.
character issues that we see in our kids that could turn into bigger issues later, right?
Right.
Because of the things we've dealt with, the things we've been through individually, together, whatever. So it's, if, like you said, if you're playing with something and you want to move on to something
Right.
else, put this back first,
Right.
finish a task to completion
Right.
before you start on
Right.
something else, because then, as they get older and get into the workplace, or,
Yeah.
if they decide to go to college, whether they do or they don't, it's, being able to have the work ethic to say, okay, I'm going to finish this
Finish
all the way
tasks.
through
Yeah.
before I jet off to something else. Cause I know I'm bad about that.
Yes, you are.
Like
You are very bad about it. You are bad about it now as an adult.
I don't multitask very well. So
Not at
if I start doing something
Yeah.
and then something catches me real quick,
my
I'll probably
gosh.
move on to it and I forget to come back to. So it's something that
Yeah.
I see in me and I see in our kids as well that I'm trying to break with them now,
Right.
that I'm, still as a,
But please don't get us wrong. It's not like, we have it so perfect, right?
oh yeah, no, not even
But
close.
it's a very much a transparency thing in our walk, and we pride ourselves in being very transparent with our kids.
Yep.
Definitely aging wise, like the timetable wise, like what we tell Avi is very different. What we tell Tayden, sometimes it's across the board.
Yep.
What is appropriate,
Yep.
I should say. But it's very much listen. We're not perfect. We've done this,
Yep.
and this is why we're telling you. I mean, make the mistake if you want
yeah,
to,
absolutely.
but you gonna get pops just
Yeah.
like I got pops because this is what I didn't
Yeah.
do. So no, we don't have it all together. We're not
No,
saying
not
we
even
do,
close.
but we've learned a few tricks, and we're a little bit. I'd like to say that our kids have it a little bit together.
Yeah, it really touches my heart as a parent when our kids are out other places or wherever it is, and sometimes we have random strangers that come up to us
Yeah.
if we're out in public and say, "Man, your kids are so respectful," or your kids are so well mannered or so well behaved,
Right.
and it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
That's so greatly appreciated
Yeah.
because it lets us know, one, that we're on the right track and we're
Right.
doing things right. But the key to all that, it's not discipline. It's so much more important to catch your kids doing the good things
Yeah.
and complimenting and reinforcing good behavior instead of trying to get bad behavior out of them.
Right.
And for a long time, that's the approach that we had, that I had, is when you catch them doing something bad and it's, don't do that, stop doing that, blah, 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 and you're getting onto them, whatever, whatnot. And that, I don't want to say it comes from a place of fear, but it doesn't instill good things. Like, there's definitely times when you have to.
Right. I'm going to still point it out.
Yeah.
But we reinforce I still love you. It's a mistake. Mistakes happen.
Yep.
Hey, this is why I got upset.
Yep.
This is why I'm mad.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
And usually one of us is refereeing, like, yo, you going a little, you doing a little too much right now. You doing the most.
Yeah.
But it is to say, hey, yeah, you messed up. But even though you messed up, hey, but look what you did on the other side of things.
Right.
Which we didn't think about until we had our Kingdom Families at church. Yep. Where, Miles had talked about that, about, switching it. And, you never really think about
Not
flipping the bad with the good. Everybody has a different approach in parenting. How some people don't pop, some people do, whatever it is a, hey, when he pointed out, hey, show them what they've done good.
Yep.
Hey, good job doing that.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. I appreciate, and not just in the moment of when they're bad, but I like Tayden. He really enjoys making us a cup of coffee. Can I please make you a cup of coffee?
Yeah, he does.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it. And not just in the, when we tell them to do something and then tell them it's we had to create a habit in ourselves as parents to say, hey, thanks for doing that.
Because it's so
when we
easy.
do get strict, and we do say, hey, blah, 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 they're very much more quick to actually listen and not feel like, here you go again.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to take it, which that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Here she goes again. My mom's screaming at me again.
Yeah.
Just take it and nod my head and get it over with, which our kids still do that now. They blankly stare at us and like, I'm stare right back. We gonna have a stare. Let's go. We gonna have a staring contest. I do this all day. I'm old. I'll stare at you all day. Tate is swallowing. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, he does that.
Swallow it.
Like all of a sudden when he in trouble, he got to clear his throat 50 times and
there's nothing in your throat, sir.
Yeah,
nothing.
there's not.
You don't need any. You don't need water. You don't need. Sit still.
Yeah.
Listen to this out.
But it matters so much what you're talking about reinforcing the good. There's been scientific studies that show reinforcing good behavior lasts a lot longer and goes a lot longer than just getting on to somebody for doing the bad stuff.
Right.
When you reward good behavior, it creates different brain patterns.
Right.
Wrinkles in the matter.
Little wrinkles. But I don't think we realize the trauma, whether small or, big.
Yeah.
It creates a trauma in us, right? Like, getting yelled at for not picking up my room, getting yelled at for, that creates a trauma in us to not want to come to our parents.
That's so true. Cause I can think back to when I was smaller and like when my dad would yell at me for something or get on me for something. And growing up, my dad was in the military. We got in trouble. I got the military belt. We got that thin Air Force belt. I mean, that thing did not tightly woven. It did not feel good. But when he disciplined, it was. I know now that it's out of love. Right. However, it came across just as yelling and berating and stuff like that. So anytime I would see him with that same look on his face, or if I would get in trouble, but I wasn't going to get a whipping, I was always scared and fearful because of what's next. Yeah, what got like cemented in my brain from that.
I mean, I think we've talked about this in a few past episodes very briefly, but it was you would ask sorry later. And that shows like you knew I was going to get mad. She's going to scream anyway. I mean, there's something in you that was like, man, I'm not going to say nothing. She's just going to get mad at me. So I'm just not going to, I'll deal with it later. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is something that I don't think we realize as adults that has, and I'm not saying this is some traumatic thing that happens in your life, but there is some sort of trauma that happens that creates this fear. I mean, it's not a healthy fear from your parent, right? It's a fear of like, I can't do this because or being ashamed of it or being, instead of dealing with it and talking them through it and then being honest about it so that they will turn around and come back. Right. And, say something. Man, I remember my mom, she got my uncle to make this rod It was like he was a woodworker. It was like this long stick. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm sweating thinking about it. It was this long
You
red.
nervous?
Yes. He spray painted it red. It was like a long stick. Legit. It was this big. He put electrical tape at the end of it.
What?
Black tape so her hand wouldn't get like hurt. I don't know.
She had a good grip on it.
Oh my gosh. That little 5-foot Filipino fury like came running after me. Do you remember our old house in Timber Lodge?
Yeah.
Okay, so there used to be. Remember when we broke it down? The vanity.
Yeah.
There's a drawer you couldn't open the door.
Yeah.
So I booked it, my little 410 butt to the bathroom, and I opened the drawer because you could pop that. The locks were old. It was like a 1970s home. You could just pop the lock open.
Yeah.
She tried to pop that door open. I was like, ha! Ha! And then I
thought you had it.
I thought I had it. She was like, just come out. No, you're going to hit me. Nope, I'm not going to hit you. Yes, you are. I don't believe you.
Yep.
You have it in your hand. Your eyes are bulging.
Yep.
Your eyes are bulging. You want to beat me, and I will not. I sat in that bathroom on the floor for like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like,
oh my gosh.
Just come out. You're not in trouble. Like, you're lying. I don't believe you. I felt like, listen, I felt like she couldn't touch me. I was,
Yeah.
Then it was like, I got to leave sometime.
Man, you can't stay in the bathroom
Are
forever.
Are you for real? I'm not going to hit you.
Can we work through this?
Right.
Let's talk through this.
Man, the minute I closed that drawer, she came whacking at me. I was like,
liar.
yes. Yes. I'm like, and that's another thing, not following through what we say with our kids.
Yeah.
Man, our kids remember.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do.
remember.
Man, I remember I got in trouble and it was one of those, like, you wait till your daddy gets home, and I'm like, oh God. Oh, like you nervous, like, what am I gonna do? Okay, I gotta figure out how can I make this better. And I was like, man, if I get rid of all his belts, then he can't whip me. Right? Like, I think I was like maybe 6 or 7 at the time. And I was like, the logic, like, I always get whipped with the belt. If I get rid of the belt, I can't get a whipping.
Man.
So easy.
No,
well,
fine stuff.
like at the time, like, if you know my dad, or ever seen my dad, like, so he had a tumor on his pituitary gland that caused him to grow. So like his hands are huge. So his pinky finger is probably, I don't know, maybe about that big.
They look like
about that big.
like
around,
Nutty
but-
Professor.
Yeah, but they're like
they were
super
huge.
padded.
Yeah,
like
they
he's
were big.
not like 400 pounds or anything like
Right,
that.
No, but they were like really, really big.
Yeah. And so being 6 years old, like there was nothing my butt was that big. And so
You look like that in your little banana suit.
I got,
Continue. Continue. I'm
gonna end the show now.
the people are listening.
That is not very nice for a Christmas Eve. I'm gonna give you a lump of coal. I'm gonna put a lump of coal in your stocking. That was so hateful to bring that up again. Anyway,
Right, we're not living there anymore.
yeah, we're not living in the past. See, she just became my girlfriend like last week.
No, you could look. You can't use my stuff. You didn't break up with me. You were always with me. Continue. We're talking about kid. This is a kid episode.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the logic, but I got rid of all the belts, and I was like, man, I'm super smart. Well, yeah, that didn't
Where'd you
work.
put the belts?
I think I hid them in my closet. Like, I wasn't super thoughtful. I was 6.
Right.
Like, I wasn't super thoughtful on hiding places. But I remember another time that I got out of getting a whipping because I think I was 4, maybe 4 or 5, and my dad told me to come into the room, and I was about to get spanking. Well, I shoved a pillow in my pants.
You're like size of AV, shoving pillows in your pants.
And it's like a pillow from the couch. And so I'm like this big, and like behind me is this big, and he just cracked up laughing. So I got out of that one. So I guess I didn't really do anything that bad anyway. But you remember, like I remember one time I counted how many times
you get whooped?
Spanked. 17.
On that one time?
Yeah. I don't remember what I did, but yeah, I remember that one. I remember that number.
Yeah.
But it was never like, I don't know. I guess we just were raised differently. Like I never thought I was being beat, and I still to this day I don't think I was being beat. And it was discipline. That's how discipline was. I like to think that we turned out to be pretty good human beings.
I like to think so, or we at least learned and figured some things out. We don't always get it right, but I mean, for us, right? Like for every kid, it is different.
Yeah.
Yes, we believe in spankings and pops, but we don't pop with our hands.
Yeah, not at all.
We've never popped with our hands. Nope. We've used spoons. We've used,
yeah,
stuff like that before, but
we've learned now.
We've learned. we've learned, because I've broken a spoon or two, and we used to bring them with us everywhere.
Yeah.
But we've learned, your hands were made with love, which is very true. And you, again, we look back in our child, like my mom used to hit me with her hands all the time.
Yep.
I didn't think it as abuse.
Yeah.
I still don't. I still don't believe that.
Right.
But it's what she knew.
Yeah.
We parent differently, just like everybody else.
Right.
And I say that with also saying, pops don't work with every kid, right? Like Jalen, he has very strong-willed.
Yeah.
He is very strong. He has a very high pain tolerance as a special needs child.
Yep.
And yes, we still do it at 17. But pops to him are like, whatever, like a flick.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's nothing. So we don't do that on him.
But you
we
put
don't
him
do that.
in the corner.
Man, you would have thought.
Stand him there. Not even nose to wall. Just stand over there.
Yeah.
And don't move.
You would have thought you
Earth
murdered
came
his best friend or
shattering
something.
down.
Yeah.
The
Like
earth came shattering.
just have to stand with his face in the corner. Like that's the worst thing ever. Yeah. It's just,
Tayden, it works for Tayden.
Yeah.
Avi, it does. But Avi is very fearful of the pop stick. So she is even if you show her.
Yeah.
Or you just tell her, hey, if she's more the warning.
Yep.
We can warn her and she snaps
straightens
out
up
of it
real quick.
But
And
it's different with every kid.
yeah, and it's just even in disciplining, it's very different how we do it now, because when we discipline and the kids are going to get pops now, like we talk at a normal level. Like
I'm tired of raising my voice.
we don't do the yelling thing, and we actually talk through the issue, the problem. Like, hey, do you know why we're in here?
Yeah.
Like, do you know?
I mean, I still yell. I'm still working on that. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I still look. Yes, because your son had it. Your son had me upside down on Monday, and I was like, "Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Well,
we about to go. We're about 0 to 100.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm dealing with Jalen.
Yeah.
Dealing with Tayden.
That was a lot that day.
That was a lot that day. So yes, but I do. I come back and I apologize,
Yeah.
and I bring it back down to a normal level, which again we've learned to humble yourself even with your kids.
Yeah, being able to apologize to your kids is a
hard.
huge thing. Like, that's not something my parents
hard.
ever did.
My parents didn't do that. My mom never said sorry in general. She used to just buy me things. So growing up, and I'm sure most cultures, and I'm sure some parents did that, but Philippine culture, we didn't apologize much for anything. My mom was always right.
It was like, I'm the adult, I'm right.
Yeah.
Even when I'm wrong, I'm still right.
Right, and it doesn't matter what you say. No, I'm not wrong. I'm like, no, but you're blatantly wrong.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And so instead of being like, you know what, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go shopping? Okay.
Yeah.
Filipinos are they can be very materialistic. The older generation are very materialistic because we didn't grow up from much.
Right.
They didn't grow up from much being in the Philippines, very third world. Right. So, designers matter, everything, very materialistic. Yeah. But if they went out to buy you something or they took you shopping, it was like, okay, I'll take it.
And doing that, it like instills a bad pattern.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah, we try to do things differently.
We do.
When we give pops, we don't yell. When we still get mad at our kids, we raise our voice often.
Right.
But when it's time for them to get pops, it's, hey, go to your room, sit in there, and that's a time like for them to kind of reflect on what they did, but at the same time, as a parent, like to calm down and chill, because I don't ever want to like physically discipline my child out of anger.
Yeah, it's time for us to calm down.
Yeah, that's a big no.
And like I said, it was those times where you had to walk me down.
Yeah.
Now, single parents, I get it. It's, I've had to do it with Jalen where I had to calm myself down and figure it out and know that we don't, special needs kids for us with Jalen, we don't parent any different.
Yeah.
There's some things that are modified, yes.
Yep.
But we talk to him the same way. We discipline him accordingly.
There we go. Yep.
But we parent across the board.
Yeah.
Teaching him honor, teaching him to do things,
and
using his sign language to add on to that, or being respectful of things. So we don't coddle, we don't baby him in any way, because it is hard. It's hard. Does he understand it? Does he know? Even at 17, can you really grasp what just happened?
Yeah.
Because man, let me tell you, when he is angry, he is angry. And so if we come back and we're trying to discipline, a lot of times it is very hard to figure out, does he understand that we're angry at this, or he thinks we're just yelling, or we're just popping him to pop him, or whatever it is, because then he gets riled up.
Yeah. And it's you know, we talked about the kids being very individual and how we handle them, and you have to know your child. Like we said for Jalen, you know, it's different in different situations, and when we're around him 24/7, we know that he understands some things,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like when, you know, for
Yeah.
him, even though he has special needs, like we can give compound instructions, and you know he can do that,
understands
and he
it.
does that.
Man,
Like,
he does a whole lot at school that we didn't know.
yeah,
I was
man,
like,
he,
I feel bamboozled.
he knows a whole lot of sign language
He knows
that
a
we
whole
found
lot of
out.
like, yeah, if you just, I mean, he won't do it by himself. If you just
Yep.
tell him to do it, tell him to do what? Oh, he
Yeah.
knows like 30 different sign languages.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, he doesn't use those at home.
And you figure all this stuff
Yeah.
out like as you watch him, because I mean he knows when he wants his TV on, when he wants to put his watch
Yeah.
on, when he needs your
When he
help with
needs
something,
you,
when
oh,
he
he-
needs you, he can come find you and
He
tell
will-
you
and
exactly
he'll
what
follow
he
you
wants.
around the house. He will
Yes.
follow you.
Yes.
With his hand on his wrist,
Yep.
with his
If he
stuff.
wants his
holding-
watch on.
If he wants his watch
Yep.
on, he'll just keep following you,
Yep.
not make eye contact.
Like he wants something to drink, he knows. And that's the
Yeah.
thing where Abby talked about is like we don't treat him differently in the fact that like, okay, you want this, say please. Like you're still gonna
You're still gonna
respect and have
respect, yeah.
manners. Like if you need help with this,
Yeah.
ask instead of just standing there and expecting us to read your mind. Like
Yeah.
you can still communicate what you want, what you're asking
Right.
for, just like anybody else. And I think it's done him a good service
so
and not a
too.
disservice
I
to
think so
to
too.
treat
It
him
was-
more.
It was a learning curve with him.
Oh, yeah.
I had him, I had him young. So me and him were babies trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Then learning he had special needs. So I learned that Jalen was special, or he was starting to not grow in the regular learning curve, or a curve that they have you on, hitting milestones. 7 months, he was still sitting down. He wasn't trying to crawl. He wasn't trying to do anything. 9, 10 months, he wasn't eating. He
Right.
wouldn't eat the right way. So it was trying to figure out how to feed him,
Right.
And it was me and Jalen for the first 3 years until you came along.
Yeah.
So we were, and even then it was still trying to figure out like, man, I don't know what to do with you. And there is
Yeah.
no book. There is no book. There is no, I wish there was a bigger net, and I'm sure there is out there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Jalen, he is very different. He does not fit in
Yeah.
any network
Nuh-uh.
where there is a support group for special needs parents
Yeah.
like that. Jalen is part of a 2 percentile that we talked about, that he has no diagnosis.
It's been a challenge.
And so, for him, it's like, yeah, he can keep up socially, but he doesn't talk.
Right.
He doesn't write. He doesn't do certain things. He babbles still.
Yep.
He's not, he doesn't have Downs, but he doesn't have Angelman's, but he doesn't have, and there's so many things that he was negative for
Yep.
that didn't put him in anything. So like camps every summer. Can he join a camp? No.
Yeah.
Whether it's with church
Yeah.
or,
Because he still needs some one-on-one
Right.
help with things.
and even special needs
Yeah.
camps, there is nothing
Yeah.
that he fits in. So we were, for me, I felt really alone. I felt really alone dealing with Jalen, and still do a lot of times. Or, it definitely made me aware of, you just never know. You see those kids running around and screaming and whatever. It made us very sensitive to a lot of parents that were
yeah.
out dealing with kids.
Oh yeah.
That you looked at sideways, because he was not going to slow my life down. I learned, I think at the time you were traveling a lot too, and we would go out, and Jalen, he hated to hold your hand.
Yeah.
He would hate to hold your hand anywhere you went. It had to be his choice.
Yep.
But we were crossing the street.
Yep.
We were doing, and he walks very slow, and he didn't walk independently until 3.5, 4 years old, and that was very shaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he would scream, and then he'd scream the rest of the time. And it was like, do I ignore him, or do I turn around and leave?
Yep.
I'm not turning around and leave. You're not going to stop my day.
Yeah. Like your life can't stop just
You're
because
right.
you don't want to act right.
And so you never know what a parent's going through.
Yeah.
That's one. 2, having the grace to say, I'm not going to treat this situation any different just because you're different.
Yeah.
You know, yes, there's certain things you may not do, but I won't know if I keep babying you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or pushing you to do something, or pushing you to try and learn things, or, we figured out his limits, early on, or whatever. But it was, for him, there's no book, and it's been hard. It's been hard trying to figure that out. And it's been a very lonely path,
Yeah.
and very on the outsides of, okay. Yeah. And we have great, like Birdville ISD, man, they have been amazing coming into high school. It's like, what do we do? Really walking us through that. His middle school was really great. And so we have a great network when it comes to his teachers and goals and stuff like that. But even now, it's like he's 17. He's not a regular 17-year-old.
Yep.
You know, he should be looking at colleges or not looking at colleges, or, you know, driving or having a job or not having, you know, certain things that a lot of people are doing right now with their 16, 17-year-old. You know, he'll be a senior next year, you know, so it's very different that we don't have those experiences the same way. So Tayden is our, you know, our middle, and he's our first for everything.
Right.
Everything that he does right now is like, we've never had to deal with.
Yeah.
Never had to deal with it.
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game with the next one coming up, and we're learning new things. And but at the end of the day, it's important that we have taught our kids honor and respect, and we catch them trying to do more good than we do trying to catch them doing bad, and you know, discipline accordingly. Each kid's different, and just the biggest thing is to be present as a parent, right? Like, that doesn't mean like you like being
Time
there all
spent.
the time, but it means like, hey, instead of when I do see my kid doing something good or bad, like brushing it off and like I don't have time for it, like invest in that moment, whatever it is, right? Because those are going to be the things that impact and shape them, you know, moving forward for the rest of their lives. Like, you know, be willing to. The same way in a marriage relationship, you're willing to go through. You have to be willing to go through the hard and deal with the mess. Like, hey, you need to do the same thing with your kid, so they turn out to be decent human beings. Because you don't want my kid, you know, 10 years from now coming up in your house to rob you or something like that, because I didn't do my job as a parent to, you know, shape and mold them. So if I want them to be a contributing member to society and the community that they live in. So
that's true. I mean, we teach our kids to. I mean, a big thing in our home is to serve others. We're very, you know, serve the people around you, you know, people come over our house that we invite over for dinner or whatever. We don't let the kids turn the TV on. That's not the first thing that they do. You know, we have them talk to these other people's kids. We have them show them their room, play with your toys.
Make them feel welcome and comfortable.
Make them feel welcome. You know,
hospitality is a huge forgotten thing.
And then, you know, after dinner, then they're allowed to, and again, this is our home. We're allowed to turn on the TV, play video games, whatever. But talk to one another. We get so lost in this day of, you know, electronics, and everybody's on their phones, and everybody's nobody's having real conversations. And getting to know, which is what I love. You know, getting to know that person one-on-one and understanding them and who they are, and really feel heard. Because I mean, I think it was like maybe 3-4 years ago, I felt real convicted because we were so busy, and we still are, but we are so busy and not letting Tayden. I mean, our kids talk a lot.
Oh my gosh.
They talk a lot.
Oh my gosh.
But I got convicted about not letting them really say anything. Like cutting them. Okay. Tell me later. Okay. But not giving him a chance to really just, even if it had nothing to do with everything. I mean,
just they need to find their own voice.
They need to talk. They need to talk it out. They want to tell you about their life and their world. And that's probably why I go cross-eyed a lot with Avi when she is in the car with me, and like she has so much to say. But it is about just being quiet and letting them speak, because if you let them speak now,
that's it right there. That's the big thing right there is you want your kids to be able to know that they can come talk to you now. So when they are teenagers and things like that, and everybody likes to say, oh, when they become a teenager, they're going to blah, blah, blah. No, that doesn't have to be the case. Like just because your kids become teenagers, they're not doomed for, you know, regular teenage whatever. Like that doesn't have to be the case. If you begin to instill and cement the things that are important now, like that carries over. Those things matter. So, man, we ran through it again today.
Yeah, we did. Did we even talk about? We talked about kids, right?
I think we hit it just a little bit.
Okay.
You know,
I
so
think we talked about like discipline and stuff like that.
Yeah, we hit a few different things. So, you know, we had somebody say that we need to move to an hour-long show.
Who said that?
Oh, I'll let you read the comments later.
Hush your mouth. We don't need to.
I was like, nah, we ain't quite there yet.
This is rough.
We ain't quite there yet.
Like, I don't even think we don't have an hour of stuff to talk about. We're gonna be sitting here saying,
no, it'd be good. It'd be good. So, again, Merry Christmas. However you choose to celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa,
Happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus.
Man, shout out to our boy Daffy. He gave us a little Christmas chicken and
the
waffles.
Christmas chicken and waffles going on.
Yeah.
So if anybody needs some graphic design before I throw his information out there for the whole world to have. You can DM us or whatever, and we'll get you hooked up.
He's awesome. He does all our
graphics.
Work.
Yeah.
All of our stuff.
So with that, smash the like button.
So we smashing things.
We smashing things. We smash like all them gifts are gonna get smashed tomorrow when people open them up.
Tap.
I mean, you could, but that's not fun.
Click, tap, smash though.
Okay. Anyway, please subscribe. We got lots of folks watching, not as many subscribed, and we want to see y'all as subscribers. Follow us, Instagram, Facebook, all the platforms.
Y'all.
Man,
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you for everybody who's been watching, following us along. Yeah. It's been great.
It's been fun. It's been fun hearing everybody's feedback, or they've tuned in and they've listened, which is awesome. So thank you for that. Thank you.
So with that, we're done with another one.
Done.
And enjoy your Christmas, everybody.
Enjoy the family.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Merry Christmas.
Merry